Welcome to the Ignis Sport channel. Today we're doing the head gasket, the dreaded job of the Ignis Sport. Please be aware this job isn't really worth doing, but having said that, I tend to be stubborn. I want to keep this car on the road. So here's the mileage. So it's time to get all your tools ready. Stop worrying about your air filters. So head over to the Suzuki forum on Facebook and search for any questions. Most things have been covered. So this car blew the head gasket because I changed the radiator. The old one was lost a lot of fins, looking a bit dodgy come summertime. So over Christmas I went to change the new one and flushed the coolant system out, get rid of the red coolant which had been recommended by the local car accessory shop. Here's the new radiator. Caution with these because the caps change and it doesn't take the original cap, therefore I was stuck and we blew the gasket due to lack of pressurization of the system. So individual compression test on the head revealed a low pressure on a 1 cylinder as far as I can remember, with the rest around about 200, which is acceptable. So we're on to getting the head off. I had to have a look inside, see what the problem was. Well, I was pretty certain it was the head gasket, or a cracked head even. This is not an exact guide to fix this problem, or an exact step-by-step method, but you get the idea here. So remove all the pipes and wiring harness from the top of the head to give you access. So please be aware this job will take some experience and knowledge. So strip everything off the top here. This is the easy bit. Cleared the harness from down here, got the lambda sensor out, or the O2 sensor, get the injectors off, breather pipes off. I'll disconnect the battery. This should be the first thing you do for safety. Be careful not to break the evap control valve here like I did. Luckily I have a spare engine. This part probably cost a fortune from Suzuki. So your harness will be clear fairly quickly. The plugs are coded, can't go far wrong here. As I say, this is the easy bit. Difficult bit is making this tool here to allow you to get the bottom pulley off. Use a 25mm hole saw or slightly bigger to give you socket access. Measure the PCD on these bolts, M8 bolts here. Here's what you're working with here. Down this gap, which is a pig. There's your VVT valve and the associated wiring. Trying to get you a shot down here. Difficult to get the camera in, difficult to get your hands in, difficult to get your sockets in. There's the VVT banjo oil supply there. M6 bolts all the way on the cover, top to bottom, plenty of. There's the bar, had to make this up quickly. The pulley bolt won't come off with an impact gun. It may come off with a huge impact gun. I changed the bolt on this, on the rebuild. We're a bit out of sequence now. Obviously filming this makes the job harder, the job takes longer, and the camera's managed to invert itself here. But you get the idea. Right, looking at the internals of the head, looks pretty clean, so the engine's been reasonably well cared for. No obvious sludge, no obvious discoloration of the aluminium, which would indicate very high temperatures and dirty oil. Timing chain, well, taut. Trying to get you a good shot of the oil feed pipes to the cams. One thing I would recommend checking is the supply, because one of these had started to sludge up, and obviously your oil supply to the cams is very important. So remove these bolts gradually. This is all referenced in the Suzuki workshop manual. I tend to use a speeder bar on engines. Try not to use power tools too much. So I've missed out removing the manifold. The big bolts to the exhaust as well on the downpipe, where one of those was seized, had to be cut off. And I've also missed removing the sump and removing the cam cover. In hindsight, and taking advice from the Suzuki Ignis forum on Facebook, I've decided to remove the engine subsequently to enable me to rebuild it properly and easily. So just tapping the blocks back on, probably have to take them off again later, can't remember. Just tend to tap these things back down so you don't lose them. So this is all standard stuff now. The bolts will be very tight. There'll also be the strange smell when you crack them open. Speeding the film up a bit here. So just missed the cam chain guide here on the side. Head's loose now, ready to lift off. So after doing this work, you want to find a problem. So have a good look at the gasket. We're looking for compression loss into the water jackets on the top side and the underside of the gasket. Quick feel of the bores, looking for wear. A little bit of carbon on the pistons, or actually quite a lot of carbon on the pistons. Possibly poor fuel. And as we zoom in, we will see the problem. Trying a nice slow pan with the mobile phone here. Try and show you this problem here. You can see on the liner here that it's burst through. So certainly on number 3. Inconclusive on this gasket here. But certainly on the compression tester 2 and 3, we're showing some lack of compression. Go for brands like Payan. The head was taken to a local reconditioners. The sump was painted. The bottom end was cleaned and inspected. Pistons were decoked. And we have a rebuild part 2 coming up, covering the clutch and some running repairs to the exhaust. And this car's now running. So if you want to keep your Ignis on the road, hope this helps. Part 2 coming soon.